All right, good afternoon, everyone. Everybody hear me okay? No, sir, you can't hear me? It might be you instead of me. Can you hear me now?
I don't hear well anyway.
Well, that's not mine. Well, all right, so I'm Robb Pitts. I chair the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County, and I'm joined this afternoon by Sheriff Patrick Labat, our Clerk of Superior and Magistrate Courts, Tina Robinson, County Attorney, Kay Burwell, and our County Manager, Dick Anderson. Let me get right to the point. Over the weekend, this past weekend, we learned that an alarm was triggered here, right here. And while the Sheriff's Department is still investigating this matter, the most important thing we know for a fact right now is that the room where the ballots are kept was never breached or compromised. I want to repeat that. The room where the ballots are kept was never breached or compromised. The ballots remain safe despite what some would have you believe. Now, because of current litigation, I am unable to disclose much beyond that critical fact. The investigation by Sheriff Labat's office to discover more, including how the door was opened, who opened it, and why, is ongoing and will hopefully be concluded shortly. But I am confident that when the investigation ends, it will put the issue to rest. Now, at this time, I will ask that the Sheriff Labat, share what he can with us about his ongoing investigation. Sheriff Labat.
First of all, good afternoon, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. Simply the facts. The facts are that, as the chairman said, an alarm went off on Saturday, and apparently there were off-duty Douglas County deputies that were aware of the alarm and made a security check. Whether it was right or wrong, improper or otherwise, is yet to be determined, but during that security check, they found a door that was unlocked. And as the chairman alluded to, much to the contrary, the door was not open. The door itself is a 75 to 100 pound steel door with a spring to match. And so both my team and I actually came out to investigate with respect to the assurances that the ballots are and have been secure. There's video evidence that shows that the actual deputies entered the building, but it is also worthy or noteworthy that the actual ballots are behind a secondary door that is locked with a secondary alarm, which is independent of the alarm that went off. So those are the facts. I am 3,000% confident and understand that the ballots are secure, as the chairman mentioned, and there is no question about that from that perspective. So those are the facts that we'll share right now. We are in touch with, have been in touch with the GBI as well as Sheriff Pounds with respect to the ongoing investigation, and we'll conclude that in short order.
Thank you, Sheriff. We could take a couple of questions, understanding the caveats that you just heard from the Sheriff and the Chairman about the ongoing investigation and as well as litigation.
Sir, do you know what caused the alarm to go off? Was it a motion sensor or was it opening the door?
So what we have discovered, and that's a great question, is that it is a motion sensor on the second floor, which is totally independent of the location where the ballots are. and we're trying to ascertain what set that alarm off.
Why Douglas County? Was Douglas County hired off-duty as like private security?
So they were. So there's a company, as we found out, TNT, that have hired off-duty officers to include Douglas County, I believe Georgia State Patrol as well, and several other counties. But on this particular day in question, Douglas County was out here, and they remain out and about. They just are not on the premises.
Sheriff, they were not working for Fulton County.
And to your point, right, they were not working for Fulton County in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And it is also noteworthy that as you can see, we've added additional external cameras as well.
Did they supplement Fulton County deputies? Were they in the?
No, absolutely not. It's a third party. It's an independent third party hire, if you will. And Fulton County deputies will be out here 24 hours, 7 days a week, weekends and holidays.
Were Fulton County deputies supposed to be here when the alarm went off?
That part is under investigation. There was a shift that left prior to the actual alarm going off, and we're trying to ascertain that.
Sheriff, was the alarm something that could be heard from outside of the building?
So we did test that. It is an audible alarm that everyone could hear from here. And again, trying to ascertain why the motion sensor went off.
And then what was Fulton County's response to the alarm?
So I got two questions. I'm coming right to you.
I mean, did the alarm call 911? What was Fulton's response?
Well, part of the investigation will outline or lay out what happened as a consequence. So it was a building alarm as opposed to an emergent alarm. And so we'll subsequently find out from there. Yes, ma'am.
What's in the room? What's in the room where the door was open?
Nothing. It's just a hallway. So to the door that was open, the door that the circulations of the pictures, it is apparent that the door was propped open for those reasons, but there's nothing in the room.
Is the GBI part of this investigation now? You said that you made contact with them, but are they part of this investigation?
No, they're not, and don't expect them to be honest.
Has there video surveillance footage throughout the building now?
You got two questions. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Is there video surveillance footage throughout the building, including the area that may or may not have had an intruder present?
So what we do have is some video footage. There are additional cameras. I do applaud the Fulton County IT team for being proactive about that. So there are additional cameras. The footage that we viewed is on the exterior of the building, and the rest will be part of the investigation.
Has the judge in this case, Henry County, awarded this stuff to Church, has he been in touch with y'all just to find out?
So inasmuch as the judge has been notified of the circumstances, from that perspective, no.
Why wasn't the building security monitored as the court required?
Well, first of all, there is no court order in place, so we need to be clear. This was a conversation about getting it done, and so that the rest of that is under investigation.
I think we'll take one more question.
Is it fair to call this a false alarm?
I would. I absolutely would.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're getting inspired by someone else, and they have done it.
That's the first step.
But they're using it at times the effective. Okay.
I'm only looking on this.
So the third party was including obviously Douglas County. Right. Absolutely. That they hired for Douglas County, but they have worked for the state. It was Douglas County. And they were
Good, Mr. Chairman. You need anything? Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get out of here.
I don't know.
Good job, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
No, Jada's in Clay County. You know, Nick is with me.